Alright, let's do this. I don't know really where to begin. I have so many thoughts and opinions, and I did my best to organize them all. Apologies if my topics are chaotically out of order. Today, I am talking about the remake of my favorite video game of all time, which is Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. This video game is a dream come true. My nerd heart has never been happier. This is it. This is the thing. This is my thing. This is my game, you know? Right? Not every fan gets to have their favorite video game remade for modern consoles, but I am fortunate enough and lucky enough that this is a reality to me. I still haven't fully processed this is real life. If Delta Snake Eater was the last video game I ever get a chance to play, I would be 100% happy. And with a second baby girl on the way in March, this might actually be the last video game I have a chance of playing for a long time. Just kidding. I will find a way to play Grand Theft Auto 6 when that comes out. I mean, just look at my username. My name is called Snake Eater Gaming for a reason. And here we are. Snake Eater, modern graphics, modern controls, on modern systems. I can go turn my PS5 or Xbox on right now and play Delta Snake Eater. This is all I've ever asked for and all I've ever wanted as a Snake Eater fan and overall as a Metal Gear fan. I've been buzzing with anticipation for years now, ever since we got that very first cinematic announcement trailer. First off, I'll start with this. This is mostly going to be a positive review because I only have mostly positive things to say. Sorry to burst your bubble if you were looking for a negative review to spread unnecessary hate, but let's try to quickly get some negative topics out of the way first. Most of the negativity and hate that Delta has been receiving online, I believe, is unwarranted and uncalled for. It's all been way too blown out of proportion at this point. I mean, I get it. Negativity sells and it spreads like wildfire online. Negativity will usually go viral a lot more often and attract a lot more interaction rather than positive things. So it can just be a way to farm attention, farm views, or whatever. Alright, first negative topic. The price of $70 for a remake. I don't know, man. It's your money. Don't buy it, or just wait for a holiday sale. No one is forcing you to purchase this video game. If you think $70 for a PS2 remake is unreasonable, don't buy it. But everyone who does buy it and enjoys it, shut up and leave us alone. I personally believe Delta is different and updated enough to classify it as a new game that is worth $70. Do I wish it was $60? Of course I do, but oh well. Next topic is Konami. Oh boy. Good old Konami, the company that owns the rights to Metal Gear. The way that Konami has handled the Metal Gear franchise of recent years has been, well, dreadful. I was upset with Konami, but you know what? I'm over it. They've righted a lot of wrongs, and they genuinely seem to be trying to win back fan trust and fan support. At the end of the day, they are a company. Konami wants to sell us Metal Gear, and you know what? I am here to buy Metal Gear, as long as they do it right. And let me tell you right now, with Delta Snake Eater, they did it right, okay? Next negative topic is the performance of Delta Snake Eater. Is the gameplay performance perfect? No. Is the performance disappointing? A little, yes. I played my entire first playthrough without any hiccups and without any problems on my PS5. Except for one crash towards the end of the game during the escort mission with Eva. And yeah, that sucked.
Come on, Eva, what are you doing? Oh no, my game crashed. Oh no, the game crashed. That's not good luck. That's not good at all. You failed me, Konami. Oh, everything was going so smooth. Everything was going so good.
On my end, frame rates are fine during gameplay. I don't experience any problems. I'll usually get around 50 frames per second if there's a lot of enemies on screen or if I'm in a shootout. If there's a lot of action going on, then yeah, I'll get probably around 50 frames per second. But if I'm just walking around slowly looking at the pretty environment or like sneaking past enemies slowly, then I'll get a solid 60 frames per second if there's not a whole lot going on the screen. The performance is definitely one negative aspect I will slightly agree with. It could be, and it should be better. I can't really defend it. All I can say is, it's acceptable. Konami should have utilized an engine they have experience with, or they should have managed Unreal Engine 5 a whole lot better. Kinda crazy to think about Metal Gear Solid 3 PS3 version on the Master Collection runs at a smooth 60 frames per second, but the brand new PS5 release of Delta Snake Eater cannot get a consistent 60 frames per second. Like I admitted, it's acceptable, but still disappointing. Next, I understand the concept of a remake is naturally going to attract negativity. A lot of gamers are tired of remakes and remasters, and there's no original ideas anymore. I get it, okay? Delta Snake Eater is a damn good remake, and it is more than necessary, alright? The developers at Konami want to keep Metal Gear alive for the foreseeable future, but they are in a bit of a pickle because they're unable to create a brand new Metal Gear game without the original creative director Hideo Kojima. Konami's most realistic option is to make the games that they already have from years ago. Just remake those and keep everything as faithful as possible to Hideo Kojima's original vision. Because as much as I like the older games of Metal Gear, the older ones are a bit outdated when it comes to controls and graphics. There are a lot of modern gamers out there who don't even know what Metal Gear is. You show them a picture of Big Boss Naked Snake, they're like, oh yeah, that's Solid Snake. I mean, there's just a lot of gamers out there who just haven't experienced Metal Gear or haven't had the opportunity to. Before the release of Delta, Konami did take a step in the right direction, releasing the Master Collection on all modern platforms. So besides the Master Collection Volume 2, the next step is to create a new experience, something old and new fans can all experience and enjoy together. And that experience is a modern update for the very first video game in the chronological timeline that many fans consider to be the best game in the entire series. The perfect game that can stand on its own without worrying about a larger narrative or anything like that. A modern update that keeps the original spirit intact for Snake Eater. And that's exactly what Delta does. Without any personal bias, on a conceptual level, this is a perfect remake, 10 out of 10. It captures the spirit and vision of the original game and just updates it for modern consoles and modern gameplay. Nothing is removed, very little is altered, and like I said, this is without any bias. This is the perfect remake Konami could have offered us. But on a personal level, with some bias, I would say this remake is maybe a 9.5 out of 10, maybe a 9 out of 10, just some personal feelings and some small personal complaints. But I still love this remake, okay? I am genuinely satisfied, surprised, and delighted with how Delta represents the original Snake Eater as a modern game and modern experience. I mean, they really did it, guys. They did it. Konami did not screw up. They stuck to the original vision and kept everything as true and as faithful as possible. Delta Snake Eater is a very faithful remake with very little change. Konami took the safe route with this remake, and that is exactly what us fans wanted, and that's exactly what they needed to do. My expectations were just give me Snake Eater in the style of Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. As an overall video game, Metal Gear Solid 5 is not a perfect video game. It has many problems, but that's a whole separate video on its own. But I believe Metal Gear Solid 5 does perfect the stealth action gameplay. The gameplay, mwah, perfect. I just wanted them to drop Snake Eater in the engine and gameplay of the Phantom Pain, and I'm happy, I'm good. And well, Konami kind of did this. Naked Snake feels like and moves like his future self as Big Boss from Metal Gear Solid 5. While playing Delta, I kept having myself in these moments of very familiar deja vu. I kept thinking, wait, why does this feel so familiar? Well, Konami really did make Naked Snake feel like his future version of Big Boss, but instead of utilizing the Fox engine from Metal Gear Solid 5, Konami decided to polish up the entire game of Snake Eater in Unreal Engine 5, and this has many mixed reactions. I will admit it was a funky decision to remake a Metal Gear game in an engine they've never utilized before, but the final product is a beautiful mess of a video game that really does show what modern consoles are capable of with modern visuals. Yeah, sure, the frame rates might not be perfect, but just look at the freaking game, man. Just slow down and take a look at the freaking character models. Look at the pores on the skin. Just look how realistic the skin is. Look at the goosebumps. Look at the freaking scars. The freaking wild animals, man, they look so realistic and cool. The vegetation, all the fruits, all the vegetables, all the lush environments, the mud and dirt that Snake can crawl around in and interact with, grass and leaves that get stuck to Snake's suit. It's so good. I love it. I mean, just look at the freaking crocodiles, man. Look at the crocodiles! Look at the individual hornet models that fly around during the Pain boss fight or fly around a freaking hornet's nest. Look at the individual hornet models, they're so good! Delta Snake Eater really is just a modern, updated version of the original Snake Eater, and that's all I wanted as a fan. I absolutely did not want Konami to reinvent the wheel here and make something totally different that's only somewhat familiar. This was honestly one of my biggest fears when the game was first announced. I do not want them to change the core identity of Snake Eater. The last Metal Gear game that Konami released was a survival crafting RPG open world with zombies and multiplayer. This was a direction I did not want to see taken with Delta. Another aspect I was worried Konami would take was censoring the game. This game can get into some really mature themes and really graphic content. Torture and murder, sexual content, non-consensual touching, violence, blackface paint, and so much more. This is a really mature game, alright? I was worried some stuff might be taken out for this modern cancel culture that we're living in right now, but to my surprise, Konami kept everything. Except Eva's booby jiggle physics, but that's fine. It's not necessary. It's like the removal of looking up Ashley's skirt from the remake of Resident Evil 4. It's just not necessary. The devs decided it's not necessary. It's not, so they removed it. I mean, in this video game, Volgin brutally murders Granin and Sokolov. Snake gets tortured brutally and has an eye shot out and blood goes everywhere. It's a really gory cutscene. Volgin's gay lover, Rykov, is stripped down to a thong and thrown inside a locker. The boss says, "What is this fairy disguise?" When removing the Rykov disguise, Volgin has an abusive sexual relationship with Eva's alter ego. Eva strips down to her bra and panties and has a romantic night with Snake behind a waterfall. Snake and Eva have a make-out love scene, no nudity. At the end of the game, you can view Eva's character model in her underwear and watch her dance. You can literally see her breast enhancement implants, alright? Nothing is censored. Also on that topic, I just love how much more gory and bloody this game is. It just feels so brutal. Getting a headshot or cutting somebody with a knife or anything with CQC, it feels so satisfying. Snake will use CQC on somebody and you can literally see the blood going flying from the enemy's face. Like Snake just broke their nose, Snake just knocked out their teeth and blood goes flying. It's so good. I mean, I've seen enemy soldiers who get injected with venom or poison and they vomit blood before dying. How freaking brutal is that? I love it. Thankfully, from the beginning, Konami has done their best to assure fans Delta Snake Eater was going to stay true to the original concept of the original Snake Eater, and I believe they have kept true to their word. The original Snake Eater over 20 years ago was then, and still is now, a perfect video game, but as the years have gone on, it's been obvious a couple things have been holding it back, like the original PS2 visuals, and the original PS2 controls. I mean, I've been playing this game for many years, so I'm used to the funky ass controls, and I've kind of perfected the controls at this point, but a brand new player can be very intimidated and very confusing, because yeah, it is very confusing. I will say it did help tremendously the game got a re-release with a HD port for a steady 720p and 60 frames per second, and like an updated PS3 control design. I'm grateful that the original Snake Eater got an HD release at all, but I've always just craved something a little bit more. Ever since the release of Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes and Phantom Pain, where you play as Big Boss, the older version of Naked Snake, I have been dying and begging for a remake of Snake Eater in the gameplay style of the Phantom Pain. I mean, everything about it is perfect. The movement, the shooting, the combat, the controls, the visuals, the stealth. Everything about the Phantom Pain screams this would look and play amazing in Snake Eater. You literally sneak around an African jungle in Metal Gear Solid 5, which reminded me so much of the Russian jungles in Metal Gear Solid 3. Alright, we can quickly touch the topic of, this is just a 2004 game, it's just a copy and paste, bro, this is a 20-year-old game. Yeah, well, okay, yes and no. The original game from 2004 was already way ahead of its time. It did not feel like a PS2 game. Snake Eater was actually intended to be a PS3 game. Back then, when you were playing Snake Eater, you just knew. It made you feel like, wow, this is the future of video games. This right here, this game I'm playing right now, this is what future video games are capable of. Snake Eater set a very high bar for future games. While you played Snake Eater back in the day, you can just know back then, this was going to be a timeless classic. There are so many little hidden nuanced details and secrets to unlock and discover, where even after 20 years later, I'm still finding new stuff. The original Snake Eater just plays different to any other game released then. It still plays different to games released now. These days, stealth gameplay is just so simple. Hide in tall grass and throw rocks. Okay, that's it? Snake Eater? Nah. You have to manage multiple different mechanics just to successfully stealth and sneak around your enemies. And not just the gameplay, the storytelling is on another level. The storytelling and cutscenes are so fascinating. Back in the day, I said, video games are allowed to do this? This is like a movie I get to play and control. It's so immersive. The story is full of espionage and emotions, and you just really never know who's telling the truth, who is lying, who's faithful or not, what's everyone's true ambition, what's everyone's true intentions are, and all the different characters in the game are truly fascinating. They all have their own distinct characteristics and personalities. So what I'm trying to say is, Snake Eater still holds up today with the story, combat, stealth, boss fights, and gameplay. The game did not need a big overhaul or new gameplay design or anything drastic. Believe me when I say, it's a good thing Delta Snake Eater is so faithful to the original. Now that Snake Eater is brought to modern consoles, it can truly feel like a modern masterpiece and be appreciated for what it is. The only two things that were holding it back were the funky controls and the outdated graphics. Those are no more, those are both fixed. Like I briefly mentioned earlier, even by today's gaming standards, the original Snake Eater and now the remake Delta blows other games right out of the water, no competition when comparing them. If Delta was released today as a standalone game with no previous Snake Eater, if it never existed, no remake, if it was a standalone game, Delta would definitely be up for consideration for Game of the Year and maybe one of the best games of the decade. So anyways, back to the original point. Whatever, if you just want to yell, it's just a PS2 game for PS5, then don't play it, man. Go play Donkey Kong or something, I don't know. Isn't that what a remake is? Taking an older game, for example a PS2 game, and reintroducing it to a modern audience. I didn't hear anyone bitching this much when the Resident Evil 4 remake came out a couple years back. I'd never heard anyone say, it's just a GameCube game. Do annoying trolls online make these same complaints for every remake that comes out? Not every video game is even worth of a remake in the first place, and not every remake is successful. This is fucking Metal Gear we're talking about, dude. The gameplay of Metal Gear Solid 3 from 20 years ago still feels more dynamic and more in-depth than most stealth games released in 2025, like Assassin's Creed Shadows. The new Shadows game feels like a freaking PS2 game. The stealth and combat are so bland and boring and basic in Assassin's Creed. If you complain about Delta Snake Eater, go play Assassin's Creed Shadows real quick and come back to me and tell me which one actually feels like a PS2 game. I assure you, Assassin's Creed Shadows is the PS2 game, not Delta Snake Eater. Sorry. I'm just having imaginary arguments in my head because I've seen so many comments online, and I just know there's going to be annoying comments and haters out there. I'm just trying to get ahead of it. I'm just arguing with nobody, I'm sorry. With a modern remake, one of the features I look forward to the most are the quality of life improvements. The original game, even as a classic masterpiece as it is, can be a little clunky sometimes, and it has some rough parts that need some polishing up. There are so many quality of life improvements in Delta Snake Eater, it deserves its own separate video. My favorite quality of life improvement is when you load a saved file. I know, it sounds dumb, it sounds trivial, but it's actually a huge deal. In the original game, it offered very little information when you were loading a saved file. Now when you load a saved file, it offers a picture so you know exactly where you're at or the general area, and it offers a lot more information. It's a lot more easier and snappier and convenient. Also, there's an autosave feature. Love that too. When I was hopping into Delta Snake Eater for the very first time, I really wanted to be challenged and surprised and taken off guard. If I was able to cakewalk the entire game, I would have been disappointed. And I was a little worried this was going to be true, because all the new gameplay mechanics seem to make the game easier and more convenient. The enemy AI is upgraded significantly. Enemies are a lot more aggressive and deal a lot more damage, and even boss fights are substantially more difficult. They are a lot more aggressive and offer a lot higher damage output, and some boss fights offer new mechanics you have to adapt to on the fly and learn. Throughout my first entire playthrough, I was not able to cakewalk a single boss fight. Well, except the Fear. He's just so easy to cheese. I can't help it. Every other boss fight caught me by surprise, and I was so happy. Boss fights introduce new mechanics, but they also keep a lot of the same old mechanics, so it still feels familiar, but offering a new experience. Like the boss, for example, has a parry mechanic, like the original, but now it's a little different timing, and it offers a brand new animation you have to learn. I absolutely loved this. When I experienced it for the very first time, I was so happy. Like I said, all the boss fights felt familiar enough, but with just a little bit of extra sauce or seasoning added on top just to spice things up. Gameplay in Delta Snake Eater feels like the perfect mixture of Metal Gear Solid 5 and Metal Gear Solid 3. It's perfect. I don't really know how to explain it. It just feels so good, and it feels so familiar but also new at the same time. I don't know, it's so weird. There was obviously a lot of source material taken from Metal Gear Solid 5 and a lot of gameplay inspiration taken from that game too. If you're familiar with Metal Gear Solid 5 and you have over 100 hours of gameplay like me, and then you play Delta, you can definitely tell, oh yeah, this is the man who becomes Big Boss and we play as many years in the future. Like, you can tell, he kind of has some of the same quirks, some of the same movements, but it's different enough to tell, oh yeah, there's a significant experience gap between these two men. I just cannot express how good the movement feels in Delta. Going from a walking position to a crawl all in one smooth motion, crouch walking is a huge welcome addition to the game that was introduced in Metal Gear games after Snake Eater was released. And I'm like, damn, I wish it was in Snake Eater in the first place. It's perfect for it. Crawling on the ground feels so good. It keeps the camera in a third person and you can still see from Snake's shoulder. And while you're on the ground crawling, you can crawl sideways smoothly and also do a backwards crawl smoothly. Crawling in general feels so much smoother. I love it. Aiming with a third person over the shoulder view and crosshairs, I don't even have the words, man. It's just perfect. It is well needed. Another addition added to Metal Gear games after Snake Eater. The original aiming with firearms was a pretty rough experience that required a lot of practice. Also now, you can move and shoot at the same time when you have a sniper or an RPG equipped. This was not in the original game. And when you throw items now, there's an arc indicating where it's gonna land. This is straight up from Metal Gear Solid 5 and it's perfect. If you think it's a little too easy, just turn it off in the settings. In the original Snake Eater, throwing an item required a pinch of salt and a prayer. You really had no idea where it was gonna go, you just had to do your best. And now Snake even gets an upgrade with CQC, Close Quarters Combat. Snake had a very limited variety of CQC animations in the original game. In 2004, yeah, it was really cool, especially compared to Metal Gear Solid 2. But now, Snake's CQC is on a whole new level, and you can tell, like, oh yeah, this is Big Boss. This is a legendary soldier we heard so many stories about. His CQC, it's so good in this game. Snake will take a man by the arm, yank him forward, knee him in the stomach, and then body slam him. It's just, ooh, it's so good. All the new CQC animations are freaking badass. I swear I'm still discovering new CQC animations. Not only are the CQC animations updated for enemy soldiers, but now we get a whole brand new animation set with the boss during her boss fight. And now also with the Vulcan boss fight, you get brand new CQC animations with him, and I love kicking his ass and throwing him on the ground and making him my bitch. These new CQC animations just make me nerd out and they make me so happy with a big goofy smile on my face. It really does activate my monkey brain. I was wondering if the developers would add a sprint button to Delta Snake Eater, but I'm glad they did not. A sprint button would have thrown off the entire pace of the game. This is still a true linear experience. Sprint is not necessary. I mean, I would have wanted a sprint button only if the developers expanded the level design and made the areas a little bit bigger. And I was kind of hoping for this, to be honest. You know, I have all of the areas memorized in the original game. Now, one little nitpick, kind of negative thing I don't like about Delta Snake Eater is the loading screen between areas. It really does feel like a really outdated concept at this point. I mean, they should have done something a little more experimental or creative, kind of like God of War. God of War had loading screens, but they hit it really well and it was really creative. They should have definitely done something like that in Delta Snake Eater, like just have Snake walk through like a little forest area where the screen does not turn black. We can see the name of the new area we're entering. Just something different. There's a couple different areas. If you're in a caution mode, you can just leave, go to the next area, and it disappears. It's just gone. So yeah, it's easily exploitable. It's an outdated concept. This is one of the things I wish was changed. Now, probably the biggest complaint I have with this damn remake, probably the main reason this is not a 10 out of 10, is the frickin' swimming mechanics. I don't know how or why, but somehow they made the swimming more clunkier and more difficult. Now the Pain boss fight is substantially more difficult. Not because the Pain is harder, yeah, he is more difficult as a boss fight, but just because the swimming sucks in this game, and that just makes everything more difficult. Like, he throws his bullet bees at you, and it takes a few seconds for a snake to dive in the water and go underwater. Like, I hate the swimming in this game. I wish they would fix it. Yeah, big complaint. I don't like it. This is another very small complaint, but I feel like the cardboard box in this game is nerfed as an equipment item. In the original game, the box offered so much utility when it came to combat and just gameplay overall, but now some mechanics are removed and it feels like it's a nerfed item. I'm already making a video about it. At this point, I probably already posted it, but it's like the box is in this weird middle spot where it's not the box from the original game. It's not the box from Metal Gear Solid 5. It's somewhere in the middle, but doesn't really mix well, and it's nerfed. What can I say? It's not the same, which I guess is fine. It offers a new challenge. I can't rely on the box to cheese the game like I did in the original. It's kind of funny. My three biggest complaints about this game are the loading screens when you go to different areas, the swimming, and the cardboard box. Those are like my 3 main complaints. Anyways, like I said, all other movements are near perfect. Snake still does a dive roll and he can like go straight to the ground. His crawling, his crouch walk, moving while shooting, it's all great. It all feels a lot more like Metal Gear Solid 5, and that's exactly how I wanted it. Look, all the silly quirks and Easter eggs, all of them are still here. You shoot an enemy with a tranquilizer and dive roll into them, instant knockout, they'll fall asleep immediately. If you blow up a food storage area, all the enemies in the area will get hungry and they're easier to knock out. All the same female poster models are still here, and the posters are updated for modern pictures of the same exact models. They literally got every single model to come back and do new photos. I love that. You can shoot and kill the end early, or you can shoot and injure him so he'll be less health during your boss fight. You can just let the end die of old age. You can throw a tree frog at Volgan and he'll freak out. You can throw an empty hornet hive during the pain boss fight and capture his hornets like a freaking Pokemon. Rykov runs into the bathroom in Akasha mode and you can join him in there. A little video clip activates to show Snake eating a fish and a snake. You can leave the transmitter in Snake's body and you'll get a funny wrestling cutscene with Eva. You can wear a freaking crocodile costume and the enemy soldiers will think you're a freaking crocodile, and even the end will mistake you for a crocodile if you crawl through the creek. Enemies that see the nudie magazine book will still get horny and they'll shake like a chicken. And there's just so many more secrets and quirks about this game that are from the original, and they're all present, they're all here. Like I said, in Delta Snake Eater, very little is altered or just outright removed compared to the original game, except maybe a couple glitches that players have been able to exploit over the years. Not only did they keep a lot of the old quirks and Easter eggs intact, they also added upon it. Now Snake vs. Monkey minigame is back after being stuck on the original PS2 version for years. This silly little fun challenge minigame is a crossover with Ape Escape, and for the Xbox players, they get a brand new minigame called Snake vs. Bomberman. That is so cool, dude. That is actually something brand new that's added to the game. And another new Easter egg or quirk that's added to the game is Snake's Nightmare, aka Guy Savage. This random hack and slash nightmare minigame activates if Snake falls asleep in the prison cell, and this is from the original PS2 game, but now it's back and better than ever, and Konami had a totally different dev team work on it just to add it to this game. But I will say, I wish they did add some more gameplay options. They didn't add this, but I really wish they did. Like a boss challenge where you have to face all the bosses at once, and maybe you have like the same health going from each boss. Something like that, I don't know. Or even like a survival mode, like from Resident Evil 4 or The Last of Us Part 2. You have to survive waves of enemies as they attack you, or maybe you have to avoid them and sneak around them and avoid being seen by enemy patrols. Something like that. I don't know, I just wish they added a little bit extra. I always thought it was kind of funny and kind of weird that Metal Gear Solid 2 and even Metal Gear Solid 1 had VR mini games and mini missions. Metal Gear Solid 3 has nothing. I know VR doesn't exist in the Snake Eater timeline yet, but they could have done like a field ops or a field training exercise or whatever. That's just a little wish I wish they did, but they didn't. I'm still satisfied with the content and gameplay we got in Delta Snake Eater, and they're even adding a multiplayer mode in the future. It's just a little extra thing that's added in the game if we want to play it. We don't have to, it's not necessary, but it looks cool. Alright, I'm winding down here, we're getting towards the end of the video. I hope I listed most, if not everything, and why I think Delta Snake Eater is an amazing remake. If I haven't convinced you, I'm sorry, but I don't know, I have so many thoughts. I believe Delta Snake Eater captures the essence, the feel, and the spirit of the original game with improvements and nothing essential being removed. Only improvements, they only improved the game in my opinion. And I kind of love the fact that Konami is open to criticism and they're open to feedback from fans. Like, they're listening to fans. They're not going like mute on us or anything. I hope Konami is aware that fans are the main priority going forward. I know Konami is a company and they just want to sell us video games. They want to make a profit. I understand that. But just don't lose fan support while doing so. You can still do both. Make a lot of money and still have the fans love the product you're selling. They need to find that balance. And I am so happy, and all the reviews like on Steam and PlayStation and Xbox and online and hell even IGN, I guess I don't like IGN, but still like a lot of reviews online are positive, and that just makes me so happy. The main complaint I'm seeing is this game is too faithful and it's too much like the original. Well, let me tell you something. That's intentional and it is more than necessary. It is perfect that this is such a faithful remake. That is the mission they intended, that is the mission they accomplished, and that is the mission. It's good. Alright, I swear I'm ending the video. Before I go, let me just list a few things I really love about the remake. I love all the updated character models. Everyone looks perfect. I love everyone, especially Volgan. I love how evil and disgusting he looks. I'm like, ooh, I hate that guy. He's so evil and gross. I just want to punch him in the face. Eva seems to be like the character model with the biggest changes, and believe me, I am not complaining. They made her so pretty. I also love how Ocelot looks now. He's such a freaking dork and a brat. His chin, his jawline, his cat-like eyes. I love it. They made him look more like his dad, the Sorrow, sorry spoilers, and also they made him look more like his future self in the future games. Like I said earlier, the new animal models are so realistic and fascinating to look at. I love just watching the snakes just crawl through. Snakes don't crawl. I love watching the snakes just slither through the grass, frogs just hop through the water. I love watching the animals in this game. They look so cool. And all the radio dialogue profile pictures are updated. All the pictures look great. And even Snake in the background during radio dialogue, he looks great too. They gave him a brand new animation. He can do different animations, like he's very expressive during conversations, and his lips actually match the dialogue that's spoken in this game. That's another thing I love. All the lip animations actually match what's being said on screen. It's a very simple, small thing, but it's not in the original. The original lip animations are matching the Japanese dialogue, not the English dialogue. Like I said earlier, I'm really happy that Konami somehow got all the original poster models to come back with updated pictures. Some are really spicy and some are really cute and sweet. I love they added a photo mode. Look, at the end of the day, whatever your opinion is on Unreal Engine 5, you can't deny like a still screenshot looks so good in Unreal Engine 5 and it looks amazing in this game. I love the photo mode. I suck at using it, but I love seeing other people's pictures online like Twitter. Like I said earlier, I am really glad that Konami added a legacy mode for any of the old heads that really want a more original feel that emulates the PS2 version. I prefer the new style, but I'm just glad they added legacy just in case I ever want it. It's always there in case I need it. And I really love how the Konami development team decided to take the high road, and they credited Hideo Kojima during all the credits, at the beginning of the game and at the end of the game. At the end of the day, this is still a Hideo Kojima game. It's just updated. So glad and grateful. This is still a standalone single-player experience focused on a main story and a main narrative. At the end of the day, this is still a game focused on characters, and I love that. And most of all, I love the fact this game is released on multiple platforms. It is widely available to a wider audience. Xbox, Steam, and PlayStation. And also, Metal Gear just wasn't widely available or convenient to play just a few years ago. I mean, all versions of Metal Gear Solid 3 were taken down off all the online stores. The original PS2 and PS3 version are not backwards compatible on PS4 or PS5. It was difficult to play Snake Eater for quite a few years, and that was very sad. That was a very sad time to be a Metal Gear fan, and Konami wasn't releasing any new Metal Gear games or Metal Gear content. I just love that Metal Gear is back in the gaming world again. I love it's being talked about. I love players are debating about it. I love players have opinions on it. I love that more players are experiencing this game. I love that Metal Gear is in mainstream media again. I love it's being talked about far and wide. As a die-hard fan of the original Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, I am more than happy with the release of Delta Snake Eater. It meets all my expectations. I am genuinely satisfied.